So a few years ago, the Chicago Cubs knocked it out the park.
That is one of the strangest stories that I've ever lived, and that most singer-songwriters will ever be a part of. I was doing a record at my place for an artist who had no interest in baseball, and so there was, the game was kind of delayed, and so I told her, I said, you can come over to the studio like 9, 10, the game will be over, and of course it wasn't, and so she shows up, and so then there was the rain delay, and so we start working, and then the game came on again, and I just told her, I said, the ghost of my dad and 8 million other people are going to come and kill us all if we do not go downstairs right now and watch this game. And so the Cubs won the World Series. It was insane.
Yeah, go Cubs!
And so it happened after all these years. And so I go to Hollywood to celebrate with some Chicago friends. And they're wasted by the time I got there. I've been working. So we have this crazy night, and I'm just driving back on Mulholland, and this song comes in. And really all it was is I wanted to tell all of the people who never got a chance to see it, because just growing up a Cubs fan, and so there were so many people in my life who never got to see it, and who would have given everything to have seen it. And so this song comes in, and I'm like, man, this is a good one. And so
Just comes in your head?
Just comes in my head. Right, the way I usually write, most of my songs are written in literally a few minutes. The song, the melody, at the core, everything, the rhythm, the pulse, they come in, I pick up an instrument, and there it is. That's just how the good ones of my life have always been. Or 80% of them are great, and then it'll take me like 5 years to finish them, But this, I was like, man, this is a good one. And so I get home, and I pick up this guitar, and I strum a little bit, and I'm like, man, this is a really good one. And I said, I should just record this and put it out. And so I did. I stayed up all night recording and mixing it, and put it out in a couple hours. And 7 in the morning, I'm exhausted, and I send it out to a couple of radio DJs, and I send it out to a couple of people, and I put it up on Facebook, thinking I'm going to have 35 likes. And I wake up at noon, and it's all over the radio, it's all over TV. People are buying it on Bandcamp. People are taking it to the headstones of their dead relatives and playing it at the graves. People are taking the song and playing it at Wrigley Field from the phone. It was amazing. And Chicago had the 5 million person parade that Friday, and so everybody was playing this song all throughout the biggest radio station in Chicago, XRT, was playing it basically on a loop. And I got a contact on the following Monday. The Baseball Hall of Fame reached out to me, and they said we're going to put the lyrics in the Baseball Hall of Fame on November 7th, 2016. And as a kid growing up playing baseball, and as a guy who just, wanted to do that, and would always joke with my dad, like, one day I'm going to be in the Hall of Fame. Like, every kid says that, right, about what the sport that they're into, and I am.
That's crazy. You have no affiliation with the Chicago Cubs, yet you are in the Baseball Hall of Fame with the Chicago Cubs.
And
that's amazing, man.
Yeah, and then a vinyl version of the song came out for a Record Store Day of 2017, and it was a very special vinyl, and so the vinyl's also in the Hall of Fame, and it's just the weirdest thing. I remember having a conversation with Nikki Sixx about it from Motley Crue, and so he was playing this like folk song about baseball on his radio show because he was so blown away by the story. And so it's like,
man,
and it was funny that, like, 12-year-olds are buying a folk song about baseball and loving it. 50-year-olds, 70-year-olds are buying a folk song about baseball and loving it. It was cool. Like, how often is a folk song about baseball a hit?
Right? I don't know. I mean, were you eating peanuts while you were writing the song?
I might as well have been eating peanuts and Cracker Jacks, and yeah.
Right?
And just,
Was that the magic touch, or?
It might have been, and it's a thing, and I wrote on this guitar, and
yeah, you got a kind of. I heard that you've got a crazy story about the guitar too, which kind of ties into this whole thing. And
in March of that year, in March of 16, I got a call from the place where I keep my gear here in the LA area, and they said an artist would like to sub-rent your guitar for some recordings and some performances. And I said, I don't really rent this guitar out to anybody. It's a very special guitar to me. And they said, this is a pretty high-end special artist. And I said, well, how high-end? How A-list? And they said, pretty A-list. And it turned out to be Bob Dylan. And I said, I'll let my guitar go out to Bob. And so
Bob.
he needs a guitar, and so the guitar.
He needs this guitar.
He needs this guitar because he plays this model of guitar live, and that's his thing. And so when this Gibson J45 came back from Bob, the strings were still on it, and so I wrote a bunch of songs with those strings still on it, and one of them was "The Cubs Won It All" in 2016. And so it had some mojo, but it also then led to a guitar feature film documentary I've been directing the last few years called American Workhorse, the story of the Gibson J45, where we've been interviewing people all over the world about their Gibson J45s, all from Bob renting this guitar. So it's been a very, 2016 was a weird year for me. There was a weird mojo going in the air, which is great.
Yeah, well, I mean, talk about some sort of domino effect too, man, and just like the, inspiration of even just having those stories and just even talking with some of those people, and then just putting it all together, and something pops in your head, and I'm just gonna go ahead and record it right here, right now.
Because I mean, that's one of the. I've recorded a few. There's a few songs on my Tremolo Moon record that were recorded completely spontaneously. One of them is Desert Driver. One of them is Fleur de Lis. I actually really enjoy working that way. I just like having lyrics come in. Beverly Hills was the place I needed to go on a Friday when Rowdy called me up and said, "Let's go."
Hey man, I got my harmonica downstairs.
Let's break out that harp and play some Mississippi saxophone.
Singing verse, sitting on this ledge. I don't know.
We're actually
sorry. I won't sing.
We're just a Bartles and James commercial, really. It's like the younger version.
Oh, you think this mic is plugged in?
You think these cameras are really going to Zombieland?
Yeah.
But. And so it was a weird, cool year, and then when that song came in, it's one of those examples. Some people have asked me like, "How has that changed your life?" I'm like, "What if I had gone to bed?"
Right. Well, I'll record it in the morning.
Right.
Right.
So like,
I forgot.
If you no mañana, do it. And so honestly, for all you recording artists out there, singer-songwriters, screenwriters, and painters, anybody if you have that idea, do it. You never know what's going to happen, honestly, because it's like, it's a crazy.
Well, cool, man. Yeah. Well, would love to hear it live. I've never heard it live.
I will. It is a longer song. I'll play an abridged version since we're here in this beautiful place, and I will do it for you gladly. So
cool. Well, here we go. Ted Wulfers with the Chicago Cubs song, which is now, the lyrics are posted in bronze and slapped up on the wall in the Hall of Fame.
I'd like to send this out to my dad and everybody who never got a chance to see it. And I began the lyrics of this song and the melody of this song probably within a quarter mile of this house on Mulholland Drive when I was taking the long way home under the full moon. I wish I could tell them they finally won. Should have seen Game 7. Man, that was fun. Tied in the ninth when the rain coming down. Extra innings, Cleveland town. Well, I got a story that you might not believe, but the Cubs won it all in 2016. Yeah, the Cubs won it all in 2016. They had the pitching, and they had the bats. They threw away the Bartmans and Cats. Joe Madden got them going. They worked as a team, and the Cubs won it all in 2016. Yeah, the Cubs won it all in 2016. Well, holy cow, the world champions now. Wrigleyville's wrapped in a dance. Harry, Steve, Ernie and Ron, Tinkers, Evers and Chance. I wish there were a way to have another catch, and to thank our folks for teaching us that. If we could just have one more dog and a beer, and explain to them we have no more use for the expression, maybe next year. 'Cause I know what happened, but it still feels like a dream. I The Cubs won it all in 2016. Yeah, the Cubs won it all in 2016. And I know there's a Cubs fan with a dying request. Well, Steve, this year they're finally the best. No more doormats, if you know what I mean. 'Cause the Cubs won it all in 2016. Yeah, the Cubs won it all in 2016. So fly the W as high as it goes. And everybody throw the throws. And everybody's out and feeling the dream that the Cubs won it all in 2016. Yeah, the Cubs won it all in 2016. Holy cow. So so just one of these crazy, very emotional songs that just racked up all my random wacky baseball knowledge, and I'm glad that ended up in my brain somehow because it came out in this song. And there's the much longer version. There's many more verses. It's funny because it's one of these songs that people really love and get very emotional to, but in a rockin' audience and a crowd, it's not really that kind of song. It's not like let's go get 'em song, and it's been kind of interesting with a whole huge audience of people like, we want to hear this song in the middle of one of my big rock shows, and big amps and stuff. And then we play this like beautiful, slow baseball folk solid ballad, and they're like, start crying. And so it's cool. I'm real proud of that song, and it's amazing where that song has taken me in my career. So.
All right, thanks, man. That was awesome. Yeah. Come up north, man.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
Can't wait
For sure. Well,
Tremolo Moon record. Buy it. It might save your life. It might help you fall in love. Listen to it real late at night. Howl at it. Make love to it. Make happiness to it. Bask in everything you can about it, because it's a great record. We put a lot of heart in it. So.
Ted Wulfers, everybody.
Cheers.
All right. Thanks again, brother. Yeah, of course. That's a wrap. Yeah.